Okay, let's start our class again. Okay, now, to be honest, for learning, you don't have permission to save this. No problem. I will not save. To be honest, to experiment with Python on Google Colab or in any other platform, it it would be much easier if we use AI, such as ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini. And my normal preference is Grok actually. Okay. Okay. So let's make a new notebook in a drive. This is Google Drive. Okay, then I will use Grok.
Not yet shared.
Oh, it's not shared. Okay. Where is the sharing things? Entire screen as usual. Share. Okay, hope it works now. So this one. Okay, this is the my Google Colab. Let me see. So for this one, I will try to show how to do linear regression, but using demo data. So the data will be generated uh, manually using Python. It's random data. And then I like to plot or visualize the data as well as the line, the prediction line. Okay, so this is linear regression, dummy data, and line predicted line. Okay, or model. Okay, so I will do something like this. Okay, and the easiest way. So I'm okay. I'm fine. You can use AI to do these things because AI makes our our life much easier. So we don't have to memorize things. Now I use Grok normally. Create the Python source code for Google Colab for linear regression dummy data. Okay. Oh, I need to say that I need to visualize the data as well. Oh yeah, it plot. So it plot, scatter, and then also plot the prediction. Okay, so we have both the train data. Train data is the actually the training data, and then the test data as well. Oh, okay. Plot both. So I'm not asking for test data, but okay. And then it will plot the test data using the predicted test data. Okay. Now, if we look at the code, basically I use sklearn linear model. We use linear regression subroutine, and then I need to split the data. So basically, I generate what, like 100 random data. The model is 3x plus 5 plus random data. Okay, 3x plus 5 plus random data. So that means y will be random. Okay, with noise. So y will be with noise. So the actual model is this one, 3x plus 5. and then this one convert the data into data frame. Okay, and then split the data. So split 80% test. This is sorry, 80% is training data and 20% for testing data. So the data will be saved in this array: xtrain, ytrain, xtest, ytest. Okay, and then do the linear regression and then fit. So the train that data, the model fit, and then we predict the using the x data, x test. We will get the y prediction. Okay, and in the error, we calculate the error comparing within the y test and y prediction, and this is the R square score as well. The R score also calculated from y test and y prediction. So these two will be used to measure the performance, the accuracy of the our model. And this is the print of these things, and this is the other one is the plot of this thing. So this is very easy. What I have in mind is changing these things using the file later. So the first one, I will use this one, play around these things. So I will copy this from Grok and put it here. Okay, I hope it works. So we need to import first the all the library, NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, and then load the subroutine that we needed, and then that's it. Generate dummy data, convert to the data frame, split, create the model, make prediction, calculate the performance, and print and visualize. Okay, let us do it. Okay, we connect to Python 3 now. Takes some time. Okay, it works. Okay, that's the results. Okay, so the error is 2.6, mean square error is 2.6. The R square score is good. Okay, so this is the result. This is the training data. The blue one is the training data. The green one is the testing data. And then the red line is the prediction line. So all line within good lines here. So everything is okay. Okay, so that's so why my suggestion is, if you want to do prediction anything, try it in using the data that we can predict first. Okay, so make data that we can predict, make sure the algorithm works, then we can play around with the actual data. To make things easier, it would be much easier if we play around with the orange. Orange is much easier. So play around with orange, use our data, play with orange, and then for larger data, we can use these things, Python. But the Python code, we need to test using the data that we check using orange, and then make sure orange and Python give like similar results. Okay, so that's how to play around with these things. So this one works. Our next steps is to read the data. Okay, so this will be mixed between reading the Google Drive and then plot it. But this one is only okay. Let me do something more brutal like this. Okay. New chat. Okay. Oh, what's the other? Okay. I need to grab the prompt. I steal the prompt first. Okay. Now. we need to make sure we can read the my data. So my data is this one. Oh, sorry, I have not upload my data. So I have to upload my data first. File upload. Okay, this is orange already. So I have to upload the linear. Where is it? Linear. Okay. Okay, this two. So I upload the training data as well as the prediction data. But for the first run, I will use the training data first. Okay, this is the actual data. This is the training data. So I have two column. One column is X, one column is Y. That's it. And then we need to create the model and print the model based on. So I will not do any test data or whatever. I will not split these things. And then so I need to create a Python source code to read this file in Google Drive and then plot and do linear regression on this data. And then so basically I will have the model, the linear line model, as well as the scatter plot of these things, and then see if the line and the scatter plot fit together. Okay, so I will change linear training data to select this one. Okay, for Google Colab, data stored in Google Drive, name this one XLS X. Okay, read the data file, read this one, store X and Y in data frame. Okay, so store and X and Y in the data frame, and then do the linear regression, fit the data, not for, fit the data, plot plot scatter plot the data and data plus the linear model. This one is do linear regression. So I will as attach as attach. So I will attach this file linear training data Excel to Grok, and then ask Grok to create Python source code for Google Colab. Okay, and do all these things. Okay, so copy and then new chat. I will upload the file first. Linear. Okay, this one. Linear training data is uploaded, and then I ask Grok to generate the source code. Okay. This approach get not the answer. Okay, I can enable. No, block. Okay, so basically using this kind of approach makes our training process much faster. Okay, but you need to read the source code and understand the source code, but you don't need to memorize the source code basically. So you need to understand how the source code works. You don't need to memorize. To be honest, I personally I cannot memorize the source code. It's more difficult because I'm too old, I guess. Okay, so this one Wow. Okay. Okay. Why do we need to reshape? I'm still okay. Well, okay. Okay, so basically, to be honest, I don't know why we need. I don't know why we need to reshape the value. Basically, this one is to what's that? Normalize the value between -1 and 1, so make things easier. Okay, but I don't know why we need to do these things. I personally don't see the I don't know. So first, we need to mount the Google Drive. Second one, we need to import all the necessary library that we need to work with and set the path of the file in Google Drive. It will store in /content/drive/my drive linear training data XLS, and read the file, put in the data frame. We can print if you like. Okay, and then I don't know about this one. I normally skip this one, but anyway, we can try. And then this one actually, if we have several column that the value of the data is very largely different between each other. This kind of normalization is needed. But if because I have only like two values, two column, I don't see the importance of this one. Okay, so I don't know what this one, but I will still use it. It's okay. There is no harm on this one. Make things better, I guess. And then this one, do linear regression and do model fit and do the prediction using the value of x and store the predicted result in the y pred, and then print the model coefficient. This is a, the gradient, and then this is p, the intercept. Okay, so print the model coefficient and then plot it. Scatter plot the xy and scatter plot the prediction, the plot the linear regression line. This one. Okay, so this one the actual data, and this is the but my data I think is good data. And then set the label, title, legend, and plot. Okay, I will steal this thing. Okay, put it here. Okay, so I replace all the old script using this one and run again. Okay. Oh, okay. This one is not Python. This is for from the Grok things. Okay, I think this one as well. Okay, let me rerun these things. Connect to Google Drive, yes. Sign in. Continue. Continue. That's it. So basically read the file and mount. Okay, that's the file, and that's the data. So the blue dot is the data point. The red line is the linear line. So there is no error here because I make the data is very obvious. Okay, let me show you the data. So this is the data. Okay. So this is very linear and no error on this data. So this is the A is what? 1? A. So if we have equation like ax plus b is equal to y, so A is 1 and then B is 6. Okay, let me see if it show that. So slope is 1, intercept is 6. So that's the actual data. This is the fit. Okay, we can change a little bit. Okay, we can play around with this thing. Oh, maybe I can change this one. Say I have 7.5. Oops, sorry. 7.5 here. Oops, sorry. And then make it 10.5, which is slower. Okay. Okay, so you play around with these things. Very easy. Well, how can I save as Google Sheet? Nope. Oh, no. No. Should be saved. I think Google will save it automatically. Yeah, I think it will save automatically. Okay, hopefully. I don't know. Let me rerun. So I change the data and then rerun again. This one. Okay, change. Oh, 77. I'm in big trouble here because this is wrong. 77. How come 77? I think I save. Man. How can I make sure it's safe? Oh, this one is good to move. Let me try again. Okay, run. Anyway, I don't know why it is not saved correctly. That's the problem with this one. I find file save as. Can I do file save as? Download. Let me close. It's like this. That's correct. Wow. Doesn't. Let me run. Okay. No, it works. So we have some error here and here, but we get the slope close to 1 now, 0.8. The intercept is this one, around here. So the intercept of the line to the y-axis, okay, that's 6.6, okay. So yes, we have the plot. Now, having this one, our next task is try to predict. Okay, this is more brutal. Okay, so this is our prediction data. This is our prediction data. So we have to, so basically we have a model from the training data, and we have another file called linear prediksi.xls, and then we want the script to predict and compare the y from this file, and as well as the error, compare the error r square from this file and the actual predicted value of y. So this is the the file for prediction. So in prediction, basically the logic to do when we are going to do prediction, we need to create the model first from the training data. So with training data, we get the model, and using that particular model, we want to predict. Okay, so basically we have two different data. One for creating the model, the other one is prediction. In the previous code, we basically split the data. So we have one single big data, so 80% of the data is for training data, 20% we split the data, so 20% for prediction. In this one, it's more brutal. So we don't have any relation between the predicted data and the model. So this is two different files. Okay, so to make things easier, I will create the code. I will regenerate the code. So this data will generate. So we are going to use dummy data for these things. Okay, see what happened. Okay, so I will create the code similar ways. Okay, create Python code from our Google Colab training data. For our first run, we will use dummy. Create dummy linear data for training data. Okay, store in data frame. Okay, and then create dummy linear data for to do prediction. Store in data frame. Let me add something here. Create some empty value in the Y data. Okay, so there some of the data has Y value, some of the data some have no Y value. Is I'm trying to simulate this data. So some has Y value, some has no Y value. Okay, so it needs to solve these things. And then I don't need this one. I don't need this one. Do linear regression for the training data to get the model. So now we have the model. Use the model to fit the prediction data. To fit the prediction data, and then calculate the RMSE, root mean square error, and chi-square. Okay, so I asked to for the well, yeah, okay, predict for the Y prediction. Okay, now do scatter plot of the data and the linear model. Okay, so I will scatter plot the data. So basically we have two data, one of the training data and the other one is the prediction data. Okay, now I will reread this one. So basically we need to I will ask the Grok to create the Python source code for Google Colab, and we will create two data, separate data. So we will not do any split this one. So I will not split the data. So one is for training, and then okay, training using the so we create the data for training, and then also dummy data for prediction, and with some empty value in the y, and store in the oh, I need to put this one. Remove this one. Okay. Do linear regression for the training data to get the model, and use model to fit the prediction data, calculate the root mean square error and x square of the y, predict the y, predicted y. Okay, and do scatter plot of the data and the linear model. Okay, that's it. Okay, but this is dummy data. So the next run, we will change the dummy data into a file, basically. Okay, see if this one works. So that's how to play around with these things, basically. So I strongly suggest to use AI, because that will save your soul. Otherwise, we are in big trouble. No, I don't need this one. This one is x equal to 6. Y is equal to x plus 6. So it will create something there. Set some NaN, not a value number, to simulate missing value. Okay. So takes some times. So we will do the same thing with this thing for Keras or whatever. Oh, by the way, I think in Scalar it has some data set, okay, to play with. Okay, so maybe after this, then we can ask for the data set and ask the source code to play with this data set. Okay. Okay. Now, so basically we import the we need to import some of the library, and it create the data for training using simple linear relation. Y is equal x plus 6. This is correct. This is to, so the model is perfect. the training data for the model is too perfect. So we are in big trouble because of this too perfectness, but that's okay. Okay, because this one is training data only. So the dummy data for prediction, we have, oh, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With two, not a number. We have several. We have 3 with numbers. Let me see. So this one is correct. Okay, this is very nice data. Okay, let me make a little bit crazy. So the data here, oh, I cannot edit this one. I have to edit in the, so I will change this one little bit. So I have some error. And then, so basically we set the X train and Y train using the XY here. Okay, using training data. Oh, this is the train data frame. This is the prediction data frame, and do linear regression using the train data and model fit to the training data. And for the prediction, uh, we add another subroutine is here model predict. So this is the y predicted y. Okay, this is predict y all. This is it's coming from the x prediction here. So we use the data frame preddf. Preddf is this one, prediction data frame. Okay, same thing here. We have x and y, but now we have pred all. Why pred all? So basically, to calculate the error, we need to compare between pred all and the actual y. Okay. Oh, oh, this one is to fill the to fill not a number in the prediction y, and then this one to calculate the root mean square error. So basically, we have the mean square error and calculate the square root of the mean square error. Interesting. Why we need to do that? Square root of the mean square error. Basically, we want to remove any negative number and that kind of stuff. Okay. Otherwise, if the error is negative, then we have negative error. So with root mean square, the error always positive number, basically. So this is y true, and then this y prediction. Y true is coming from the actual model, and this is y prediction. And we have the root mean square error and the r square. And then print the predicted y, and then do scatter plot of the training data, and do the line. So we will have these things here. I want to do scatter plot of the prediction data as well. Oh, I cannot edit. Oh, model predict. Okay, I copy this one, put it here, put it in the here. Okay, I need to do some some nasty things. 0.5 here, and then I change this one 5. So I change a little bit, so the prediction data is not perfectly aligned with the model, and then I want to print the okay, let me, do we have any y pred? Oh, so y pred is from the predicted data. I want to have the actual. Can I have the actual things? Okay. Add predicted y to y. Okay. Okay. So I want to plot these things. Oh, okay. Copy. Plot this one as well. Oops. Well, I think I'm in big trouble now. Okay. I have to remove things. Okay. I have to recopy again, put it here. So I'll start from scratch again. How come? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So remove this one. Okay. That's from Grok. I remove this one. This one is from Grok. Okay. Grok things is gone. Now I want to copy this one. Copy one cell. Put it. Nope. I think I mix some C. I don't know why it does something like that. Okay, I have to remove this one. Remove. Okay. Remove. Okay. Remove. Okay. Remove. Okay. I put it in my notepad. Easier this way. Okay. Remove this one because I cannot edit over there. Remove this one and remove this one. But I want to plot the prediction data. Okay. This one blue, make it green. This one not training data. This is prediction data. Let me see. Prediction data. So I have Y and this is pred df. I put it here. Oops. Okay. So scatter plot the pred df x and pred df y. Okay, so I add the scatter plot, the pred df, but a problem with the pred df here is I have two, not a number data. So I think it will have some problem with that. Let's see what happened. Okay, copy, paste here. Okay, hope it works. Run. So we have the root mean square error is 0 because the data is perfectly aligned with this. And prediction data frame with field Y is this one. So this is the prediction data. Oh, okay, it's okay. This is the linear model. This is the prediction data. This is the training data. So it fit. Okay, it works. Oh, it says warning because X doesn't have. This is the prediction data. So some with not a number here. So we have a problem, little bit problem, but doesn't show up in the visual. So this is it. It works. So our next task is read the actual file. So we have 30 minutes or something. Our next task is read the actual data here. Hey, where is the my drive? Okay. Linear training data, XLS, and linear prediction data here. See whether I can read these things. Okay, I need to change a little bit the prompt. Read. Read. What's the name of the file? I need to read the data. Where is it? Okay. linear training data, okay, as the training data here. Read from Google Drive, this one, for training data stored in data frame, and read from Google Drive this one for prediction. Okay, put it here. To do prediction, I don't want to store empty value, and okay, store the data in data frame, do linear regression from the training data to get the model, use model to fit the prediction data, calculate the root mean square error, as well as chi-square error for the predicted y, and do scatter plot of the data. Both but I think I make some. Okay, this is not nice. I have to edit a little bit because one value is too far away. This is 1000 is too far away. I have to remove this one. Delete row. So, okay. How can I save these things? I think it will save. Move. All changes save to drive. Okay. So, all changes save to drive. Okay. Now I can close this one. So basically I have like couple of y value, and I think I have two value is not a number, no value in two of the row. Both the training data and plot the data, training data, prediction data, and the linear model. So we can plot three of them, hopefully. Hopefully this one works. So this one is important. Read from Google Drive, the file, training data, and prediction file. So when we do prediction, we have to do something like this. Okay, first we need to load two files and do linear regression. The other way to do these things is we create the model, use model to fit the prediction data, and save the model. We can save the model actually in Google Drive, and then after saving the model, we can use the model as many times as you like with many many prediction data. So the prediction data can be multiple files. We can predict the files many times. We don't have to do the modeling anymore, just once. So we have a good training data first, and then create the model, save the model, and using the save model, we can do a prediction multiple times using the same model, but we don't have to do the regression anymore. Okay, so that's the other approach I normally use if we have many prediction data. So save the model and use this save model many times, but we don't have to do the prediction anymore, especially if the training data is huge, is big, because it may takes time to do the linear, to do the regression or these things. So I normally save the data first, and then do the prediction after that. Okay, now on this one, I'm not saving any model because the model is small. Okay. So I use Grok again. So my favorite AI for coding is Grok, but sometimes I use ChatGPT as well. For some reason, Grok give much better source code. I don't know. Sometimes the ChatGPT have some minor error sometimes, but not many times. Okay, only few times. Wow, takes a while to ask for. Let me do it using ChatGPT as well. Thinking longer for a better answer. Okay, takes your time. Providing Python source code. How about this one? Okay, it's already have the source code. Yeah. So we have two plots. This one is okay. Now we mount the drive and then read the Excel file. Okay, this one read Excel file and then store the X and Y into X train and Y train and store the from train data frame and store the XY from the prediction data frame to X prediction and Y actual. Do linear regression and fit the X train Y train to model using model fit. Okay, now we have the model and then we can predict using model predict. This one is the X predict and this is Y predict. Okay, so we have two Y actual and Y predict. So we have to note this one. So we have Y actual from Y predict. We have Y actual and this is Y predict. So we have two different Y here. Okay, and then basically to calculate the root mean square error, basically we calculate the mean square error and square root the mean square error. That's it. We can have the RMSE. The chi square or the r square using this subroutine, and then we have this one. That's it. That's and then the rest is basically print, scatter plot the training data, scatter plot the prediction data and the actual one, and then plot the linear model using X range and Y range. Okay, and plot should be okay. Let me see what happened with this one. Wow, take different approach. Little bit different. Wow, it's more complicated. Man, oh, this one is complicated. Wow, okay. We can try both, okay? Let's see what happened. Okay, interesting. Okay, I try. So, this one is much simpler. The ChatGPT is much more complicated, much more. It's not easy to read. Wow, safe prediction. I'm not asking for safe prediction. This one. Okay, well, safe prediction. Smooth fitted model cross combined X range. Wow. Okay, this one is too complicated. Oh man. Let's see what happened. Okay. This one, copy and then put it here. Okay. Wow. Okay, I have to remove this one first. Okay. Okay. I have to remove this one. The Python's the Grok things. Okay. That's it. And run. Oops. Okay. Explain error. I normally just repair or yeah, repair the source code. Well, that's what I normally do. Input looks like the error caused by missing upload the remove missing before calculating. Oh, okay. Accept and run. Wow, all AI working. Gemini also working here. Everything is working. Okay, let me rerun again. Hopefully it works. Uh, okay, sort of working. So the root mean square error is 4.6. The R square is 0.82. It's okay. And then this is the blue dots is the training model. The green is the prediction, and we can see the line is like this. Okay, line is based on the training data, not based on the prediction. So we can see there is some error here. Okay, because the error is actually embedded, actually set by me because so I don't want I want to see what happen if we have error. So we have error like this, and some is not a number here. So okay. So we have the result and looks like something like this. Okay, let me see what happened with this one. This is ChatGPT. It's more complicated, uh, more difficult to read. Uh, Simple. Okay. Okay. I copy the code. I put it here. Okay. Let me see. Oops. Oops. Okay. Copy again. Copy. Put it here. What happened? Well, there's no paste here. Okay. Okay. So the code is much complicated, much more complicated than the Grok. I hope it gives much better result. Grok is okay. Okay. No error. Oh, because of the not a number. Explain error. No, I need to put some. It needs to solve the not a number things. So same error with the. So I because I'm not explaining, there is not a number value in the accept and run. Okay. Okay, this is the results. So I have one not a number here. So this one, the t square is 2.6. The other one is r square. It's not t square. So basically, this is the wow. It's more fancy. Okay, same result basically. This is the training data, and this is the line, and the x is the real value, and this is the predicted value. Wow. Okay. Much more nice to see. So, okay, that's how to play with these things. Okay. Now, uh, of course, in uh, please provide data. list of data set. So I want to show you some of the data sets in sklearn, and also we can play around with it as well, so we don't have to generate. So sklearn, it has some data sets: Boston house price, IRIS, the IRIS things, and then diabetes and wine, breast cancer, Wisconsin, and all. If we spend some times with orange, we understand that these are quite familiar. These are, oh, this is toys data sets. Okay, so the toys data sets is available in orange as well. Okay, so if we already spend sometimes in orange, we understand where this data set already available. Of course, there are some real world data set, the California housing with 20,000 samples. It requires more computing power. What is KDD caps 99? I don't know. Label facing, I don't know. So we can play around with it with tenth of thousand of data sets. So this one is more serious. It has, wow. Oh, I didn't know this. So we can generate data set to make classification, regression, blobs, moons. Interesting. Ocean quantity. So we can, this is interesting. I didn't know about these things. We have some sample image data set as well. And then, so basically we have plenty of data sets to play with. And using this data set, we can create a script using Python to play around with these things. How can we classify? How can we, the easiest one is splitting the data set into two, 80% to 20% or something, and then make sure we can classify these things correctly. Okay, now we can ask also how many modeling algorithm we can use in sklearn. For example, make list of in the previous example, I always use linear regression because that's linear data. List of model algorithm in sklearn. Okay, make note how to use it correctly. Yes, there are several modeling algorithm, and not all can be used in certain data needs different algorithm. So see this, we have so many algorithm. It also tells the how to use it correctly. Okay, I suggest when we have a certain data, we can ask Grok or ChatGPT to analyze the data first and ask for suggestion which algorithm is best used for this particular data. Okay, because the algorithm is there, we have so many algorithm. If we have to use it, every one of it takes times. It's better. Wow. Okay. This is the example. So basically, you need to load the library, load the data. This one is splitting the data, 80%. So 20% for test, 80% for train. This one for scaling the data. So because we have, like, I think Iris has like 4 feature column, and the value may not same same range for each column. So we normalize the column using this one, standard scalar. So the value is fair. It will make the value of each column fairly similar to one another. Okay, That makes the algorithm work easier. If we have significantly different value between x, between the feature, we are having problem to, and we will having problem to uh, do the regression. Okay, for example, one column has like 0 to 1 value, the other column is 0 to like 10,000. Of course, the final results will be dominated by the 10,000 things. So we don't want that to be we don't want that to be happen. So what we normally do, we normalize the value. So x1 and x2 have very similar scale. This basically we normalize this thing. So this is the importance of these things, especially if we have several feature with significantly different value. This is not happening. This is not what? This is not in the orange. Yes, you can do these things in orange, but in orange it's much simpler data, so we don't really use these things. But in real world, we need to normalize this thing. So let us see a little bit what this thing. See, lots of algorithm here, so we are in big trouble. So for linear model, we can use this one. Okay, linear logic. How come logistic regression as well? Okay, logistic regression is for classification. If we have binary and multi-value classification, that's logistic regression. This is not linear. This is like only few values. If we have many values, then I use linear regression. Okay, or it's still called linear model, but it's logistic. Logistics is for classification. For more advanced regression, you can use this one, stochastic gradient descent classifier. We need these things if the data is varies significantly, so it's maybe difficult to find the model, and then we need to have the stochastic means random. So the gradient will be randomly, significantly random, and then we are trying to fit the data quite with as fast as possible. So that's the SGDC, stochastic gradient descent classifier. So, and then this one, SVM is data is big and non-linear. Okay, so non-linear can be quadratic, can be exponential, can be something brutal like that. Okay, so we can use SVM classifier. This one is for linear. Decision tree is good, especially for decision support system. I normally use this one, decision tree. The other alternative, maybe, but maybe not, the random forest. Okay, random forest is more flexible, so combine multiple decision tree to reduce overfitting, basically. Random forest also, I normally use random forest for like if I want to fit text data, a lot of text data, this one is good. Okay. Gradient boosting classifier is very similar to this one. This one gradient descent. This one is gradient boosting. uh, but this one is for decision tree as well. Okay. AdaBoost and XGBoost also used for this one. Ensemble method means like we can ensemble several methods simultaneously. Okay. Uh, most of the model has some parameter. This one, an estimator, max depth, and job, learning rate, and estimator. You can play around with these things. The mindset or the tips is, uh, let me see if I can show it in graph. Graph control system output with uh, with small isolation in the output. Let me see if I can do some graph. Okay. So what we normally do in the regression, we are trying to aim a certain value here. Okay. For example, okay, this one is much better. So we are trying to aim for certain value here. So we basically trying to fit the gradient, or if it is linear, we're trying to fit the gradient or the intercept value. But when it fails, it will isolate like this, okay? And it tried its best to reach the actual value. So this is when we reach the, if the regression process is good, then it reach something like this. So it will reach. So it try to estimate, but the first one maybe overshoot and going down. Sometimes it overshoot again, and then isolate like that. If it fails, it will isolate. Never uh, reach the actual value like this. Okay. So basically, we have three different approach. One is very slow. We don't want this because it's very, very slow, but this very conservative. So we can set this value. Where is it? This value, an estimator, max depth, and so on, to get this one. This one very slow, but it's very conservative. It's very time consuming, CPU consuming. Yes, we may reach the actual value, but takes longer time. So the ideal one, if we can get the value as fast as possible, but not long enough, but not but I mean we get the actual value. Okay. Sometimes we fail. What we normally allow the system to do is we overshoot a little bit, and it will converge to the actual value. So the convergent process is something like this. We have three different convergent process. One is very slow. One is the best one, but it's difficult to find. So basically, to get this thing, we need to play around with this parameter of the model. So that's the importance of the model parameter, to get the convergence value, to get the convergent process as soon as possible. Okay. This one is worse. This one is an example of the worst process. It's not convergence, it even divergence. Okay, this is isolate, so it will not reach the. So this will happen in our attempt to in modeling big data. Sometimes it diverges, and we cannot get the actual value. Fail. To stop this process, normally we limit the number of iteration. For example, 200 iteration. When it fail, that's it, finish. Stop the process. Okay, but we need to know whether it converts to a certain value or not. So we need to plot. Okay, so this is the some of the good example. It overshoot first and slowly converts to a good value. This is overshoot, undershoot little bit, and converge. See this? Overshoot, converge. So this kind of knowledge is, I get this kind of instinct from my electrical engineering background. I'm actually electrical engineer. I'm not information science. I'm electrical engineer. We play around with the control system on this one, and we try our best to fit or make things converge like this. So this is actually control system. So we have input, we have controller. This is the actual plan. Plan can be electrical machine, can be your car, whatever. And if you want a certain output, it gives feedback, see the error here, and it try its best to make it converge. So that's happening also in the numerical activities. Same thing. My real background is electrical engineering, but using this knowledge, we can play around with these things. Okay, so I will stop here. We will continue next week using neural network, Keras, and so on. Basically, we will going to deal with this kind of approach. So thank you. So next week we will have a class like this. I will not be able to attend the offline class because I have another. We have a graduation ceremony next week. I have to attend. so, so okay. So see you next week then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarana.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.